You're listening to the Blunders and Flagons podcast.
Welcome back, and if you just joined in, let me catch you up. This is Iron Cook, an annual competition held solely to find a cook that can accurately replicate recipes. This year, the recipe in question, Boffin's Crock. And to judge this year, our very own Sheriff Bulger.
Hooray!
Sheriff, good on you, Sheriff.
I know him.
Many have come from all over the Shire with a variety of flavours and smells, but none are so talented as local favourite Skippo Joe. He comes all the way from Hobbiton and claims he has a secret that will blow the rest of the competition away.
Okay, I kinda got what it needs.
And the contestants are away. After receiving all the instructions through form of riddle, they must decipher the riddle and construct a soup.
Och nej, nothing to see here, lads. I thought I'd left my stove on in my home.
It looks as though Skippo has dropped out of the competition as he deeply believes that he left his house stove on before leaving for this competition. Well, it looks like our time is drawing to an end here as the contestants plate their dishes. Let's see how they taste.
Cooks, all these dishes look and smell good. But will they meet the standards of the Green Dragon? I should hope so.
Here you are, Sheriff. I stuck very close to the recipe. I was also able to add some ingredients from my home in Needle.
Oh dear. Oh, ale. I need ale. You said you added something other than the recipe. Disqualified. Now, on to the next cook.
Hello everyone, welcome to Blunders and Flagons, the podcast where hobbits meet food in a world of Middle-earth. I'm Jerry, I play Barty Took, and I am thrilled to have you join us on this epic journey that we will have many laughters, much questionable decisions, and a fair share of hobbit antics. And sometimes when I talk, my brain moves faster than my mouth.
It happens to all of us.
Drew.
Hi guys, I'm Drew, and today on this episode, I'm going to be playing the same guy I played last episode, Banjo Groman. This little tyke, he's, we don't really know what age he is yet. I think that's still being workshopped. Just trying to, hey, little hobbit, big world, remember that.
I did do some research, and 33 is the coming of age.
33?
For hobbits.
I knew it was something like that. So I'm like 28. I got to be like 28, 30.
So that's like roughly 16, 17.
I'm going to say 28. I'm writing it down. I am 28. Hobbit.
He's having a midlife crisis before he even hits early life.
Love to kill small animals. Jeez
Louise.
I am Daniel, and I play the ineffable Barrelak Bramblefoot, the herbalist who loves digging around in hedges to find delicious herbs for both medicinal and for culinary uses.
So literally the exact same thing you said last time.
Exactly. Consistency.
Barry is nothing if not consistent and reliable.
And I am David. I am the lore master here in the wonderful world of the Shire, and Blunders and Flagons being our podcast. Welcome, and thank you for listening to episode 2, where we will find out if these hobbits can locate Boffin's Crock. Last time, well, I should say we left off, all of these hobbits were going to cozy hobbit bed in a cozy hobbit tavern in the cozy hobbit land of the Shire, in the cozy hobbit town of Mickledelving, with a cozy hobbit tavern keeper who gave them a cozy hobbit meal to wake up to in the morning. There was a lot of cozy hobbitness. Is anybody keeping watch in the night? You all went to bed nice and sound?
Absolutely not.
Safe?
No,
Okay.
this is an
That's
inn.
great.
I know for a fact that Banjo crashed underneath a mountain
Mound of
of
pillows
In fact, he
and
took a couple
sheets.
of Barty's pillows.
Rude.
Okay,
I'm still crashed there, hopefully.
great. Tell me, would any of your hobbits be light sleepers?
Honestly, can I say probably the absolute opposite?
Yeah, super deep sleep.
Like very deep sleep, and like
Okay.
specifically, I like to like bury myself under. Like so,
Okay.
not only am I a deep sleeper in this, but I'm also always put myself in a situation where I will not be available if you need me after sleep. That's just gonna be how it is.
Snoozing away.
Let me give you a piece of Barty's life here. So he used to sleep great. I used to sleep just fine. But over time, as I became more involved in who I was trying to be, I ended up having larger scale dreams of grandeur, and it made my sleep a bit lighter.
Okay. So you might wake up if there was like a tapping at the window or a scratching at the door.
Might be.
Okay. At some point in the night, Barty, you hear, you're not sure what it is. You wake up with a bit of a start. And you look around and it seems like your friends are in their places, maybe snoring a little bit. I feel like one or both of them might talk in their sleep, but...
Oh, Banjo for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't drink ale. I can't drink ale.
You look around the immediate room and nothing seems out of place. You do notice that there's a bit of a shadow being cast through the curtains by the moonlight. And so you see the clear outline of a large bird at the window through the curtains. What do you do?
This is a startling thing to see here. Was that an owl? Was that a crow?
You can make a perception check for me if you'd like, now that you're looking to pay attention to it. Do you open up the curtains or anything when you check this out, or are you just looking
Just from my
towards
bed,
it?
I'm rubbing my eyes and I'm trying to figure out what it is.
And that was a 7. Okay.
That's a 7. Abysmal.
You can't tell much about it. It looks vaguely bird-like, so you're pretty sure you can make out some wings. There's not much else. You'd probably have to go take a closer look if you wanted to discern anything. Or you can choose to ignore it. That's always an
I'm not going to
option.
ignore that. That's terrifying. Plus, Barty always chooses the path of adventure. He's going to just slowly rotate out of bed from the sitting position. He's going to rotate out of bed. He's going to pad over to the foot of his bed, which headboard of the beds are up against the wall. The window is, I assume, next to my bed, shining at the wall we're facing. Trying to keep my shadow to a minimum. Just pad softly. Big feet, dirt floor. Don my cap, lightly grab the axe, and use the axe to like push the blinds or push the curtains away and like timidly peek through.
As you pull back the curtains, you do make out 2 large owl eyes peering into the room. And you see them. They do startle you at first. You can almost see the owl's eyes widen as well, almost as shocked to see you as you are to see him. But it appears he's sitting there on the windowsill, holding on to this window that's coming out of the burrow. So he's basically standing on the ground. Looks at you first, and then its eyes drift further beyond you towards the other beds in the room. And as owls do, his head turns slowly, taking in the situation within. He blinks, gives a hoot, and tilts its head, staring not at you or at Barry, but at Barty's bed, rather intently.
Banjo's bed?
Yes. I'm sorry. Not at Barty, not at Barry, but at Stupid bee names! They're all bees! He stares intently at Banjo, even though he's not awake.
Crap, yeah.
And he glances back at you, Barty, whenever you move. As you look at him, he glances briefly, but he is staring intently, almost concerned at Banjo.
What? I don't know any of this. It's just freaking me out is what it's doing.
They're busy snoring away.
This owl has this odd fascination with Banjo, it would seem. And Barty, never one for cowardice, creeps a little bit closer to the window and whispers, "Why, Mr. Owl, do you know him over there? Well, he kills varmints. He probably could pallios, maybe? Yeah? No?"
When you say he kills varmints, the owl kind of rustles his feathers and tilts his head and spins its head around, as owls do, and looks behind it,
terrifying.
and then back at you.
You understand me?
He blinks.
I understand you.
He blinks again. Go ahead and make an animal check, animal handling. Try to give you a second chance here. You're spending some specific attention.
Ooh.
Yes, you rolled an 18 there. Okay. As it looks at you and then back behind it, it's still kind of, before it turns, eyes Banjo again. But then it turns its focus to you and spins its head around towards the fence line that's behind it. And it leaps into the air and flaps and lands on that fence. Your eyes can follow it. You can see that it stops and lands on the nest, turns back to look at you, and gives a hoot.
Oh, that's right strange. I think he wants Banjo to follow him. Oi, Banjo! I pat over loudly this time to Banjo, then just start shaking him violently. Banjo! You won't believe this. There's an owl out there.
An owl?
Yeah.
Outside?
I think your kinsman.
My kinsman?
Yeah. Right, so check it out. So he was...
Scroggily, get up.
He flew to the window, see? And he threw a shadow on that wall over there, and he got my attention. And then he, I don't know, told me to get you to follow him out there. I'm not going to. It's cold, but you go and follow him.
Banjo, it seems like you're pretty deeply asleep. Why don't you make a Constitution saving throw for me to see if you can shake yourself awake in a manner that you can absorb and or act on this information.
Now listen here, if he don't shake himself awake, I'll shake him up awake.
Yahoo, 17!
That passes the check, so you can go ahead and absorb that information. You hear what he's saying to you, that there was this owl and it was looking at you. It was super weird.
An owl told you to tell me to follow it?
Yeah. Not with words, mind you.
With body language.
Yeah. He was like winking at me and blinking at me and like shuffling his feathers all over the place. It was wild.
So I'm gonna walk over to the window. Where is this owl you're talking about? I don't see anything.
He's right there. Barty motions with his axe through the open window.
So Banjo steps up to the window, and as he does, Barty, you turn just in time to see the owl's eyes widen. As Banjo comes into the picture, he flaps quickly and flies away.
Oh, well, you weren't supposed to do that.
Barty, I have a lot of good things that a lot of people say about you. And one of the things they say about you is you're always making up stuff. But one thing I ask you, Barty, please, don't make up anything that gets me out of bed early. And I stomp back to my bed, plop myself down, and cover myself back up with pillows.
Barty chucks a pillow at his mound of pillows and sulks back to his bed.
Probably already instantly passed out mid flopping on the bed.
Banjo ruined everything.
Barry is totally asleep the entire time. Just he's used to sleeping in his Hobbit home
through
with
the din.
You know, his wife and kids, and he's just like just, I mean, maybe he'll murmur a little bit like, go back to bed.
Like a true dad.
Yep.
So Barty does have a hard time falling back asleep. He finds it at this point in time, when he can't go to sleep, usually due to his visions of grandeur, he finds himself just kind of fondling isn't the word I want to use.
Yeah, please don't.
Messing with the silver bracelet that he has, that he found. Shut up, Drew.
You said fondling. I can't help it.
He just kind of spins it around his wrist, lost in thought, and he knows that he's not going to fall back asleep too well for the rest of that night.
So the rest of you, other than Barty, spend a good night's sleep. I'll say that since that troubled you so much, Barty, I'm going to say you gain 1 shadow point. We're not going to do a level of exhaustion, and you don't have you don't know what happens with those as of yet, and we will talk about that at a future date, but just record down you have 1 shadow point. I'll describe in brief. Part of the mechanic that's introduced with the Lord of the Rings TTRPG is that there is a fight against the shadow. And so when there are certain situations, they can be disturbing, or there can be actions taken by players which give you shadow points and can lead you down a shadow path.
Uh-oh.
Dude, Barty's gonna turn into the main villain.
No, not we Barty.
Not Barty, dude.
Other than that, the night passes uneventfully. You wake up to the smell of bacon wafting into the room, the sun coming in through the same wide open blinds now that Barty pulled open with his axe in the middle of the night, which settles on Banjo across the room, and then I think as well as Barry in beds against the opposite wall, and so the light kind of lands on you, warms you through, creeps up to your eyes, waking you from sleep. Barty, we'll say maybe gave up trying to sleep and got the tea going on the fire.
No. He smelled bacon and went immediately down.
Oh,
he left
perfect.
everything in the room alone for the other two.
Yeah, okay. So everything is intact there by the fire. The tray that Jarrett placed by the fire is still there. The kettle is atop it, just waiting for those flames to be stoked.
Yeah, Barry would definitely be one who's used to rising early and taking care of business when his wife is not already at it in the morning preparing breakfast for things. But he would probably, since he got a nice full evening of sleep, he would be waking feeling quite rested, very curious about this venture that he has kind of stumbled into, not entirely confident in his culinary skills perhaps, but maybe hoping to find a recipe from someone who might know something over towards the direction of the inn. So he would be kind of thinking about these sorts of things while he's over near the fireplace, stoking the fire, making sure it's nice and hot, getting the kettle going over the fire, making tea, and what were the other items that were left by the fire?
They were mostly...
I thought they were like dried meats and fruits and like...
Yeah, so there was definitely...
Yeah, non-perishables.
Yeah, some non-perishables, some smoked sausages,
Biscuits and
some biscuits and tea, dried fruit, some prunes. You see, there's a couple of muddled berries in like a sugar to preserve them. And yeah, that's what you have there.
So he would be putting some of those things, probably picking particularly some of the berries, maybe a little bit of sausage and some biscuits and things. And he would definitely notice that Barty was not in the room, but that Banjo was asleep under a pile of pillows and blankets.
That had somehow mysteriously gotten bigger overnight.
Yeah, right? He's gonna walk over and, "Oi, Banjo, are you all right under there?" Kind of nudge the pile a little bit with his gently, push on it.
You just see out of one little space in between sheets and pillows, you just see a round nose peek out. And, bacon? Do I smell bacon?
Oh yeah, you do. But we've got some provisions in here if you're hungry and can't make it down to the dining table.
I suppose I might need some for my well-trodden journey downstairs. And I quickly make my way out towards the fire and load up the plate.
Yeah, and Barry would probably be kind of gathering some of the items and kind of talking to Banjo. I think we might have lots of extra, so I think I'll be sticking some of this in my pack. Maybe take some provisions with us on the road.
I'll pack it on me, all right, as I shove more in my mouth.
Well, I mean in my pack, not in my belly.
That's good thinking too. Go and do the same to my pack. A couple links of sausage in a pocket or two.
Ugh. Ugh.
What? I'm not smart.
You should try it still.
Very true. Yeah. So after snacking on some things, obviously knowing that there's a delicious and hot breakfast, more importantly, down at the dining room of the inn, Barry would pack away some of the dried biscuits and preserved fruits and things, anything that isn't inside a container that would need to be returned, or something that's easily packaged up and put in his knapsack, and maybe enough for one of the 6 meals a day that hobbits try to get. Bid a good morning to Banjo. I think I'm gonna head down and find out what happened to Barty.
Oh yeah, Barty. I'm surprised he didn't wake you too. Last night there comes apparently some rapping at the window. He said he saw some birds, an owl I think it was, and he comes pushing and pulling me out of bed last night, and tries to get me to look at this owl. Said he'd been talking to him. So I just go over to the window, and the bird flies away. The bird watcher, so avid he couldn't wait till the morning to tell me about it.
Barty was talking with a bird last night?
Something of that like.
I'm not sure what to make of that, lad, but I better go check on him straight away. Maybe tidy up the room, make sure things are going. We probably want to hit the road as soon as we can.
No worries, I'll clean up. I'll make sure all these sheets and blankets get put on their own.
Rightio. I'll see you down in the dining room then.
Barty, you do find in the same main tavern room, it is a bustle of activity. Not just the patrons who were occupying those rooms, but others have come in to share a second breakfast here at the inn. This is actually one of their most popular meals of the day, as you can see. There are multiple servers coming in who you don't recognize. Jarrett doesn't seem to be anywhere in sight. There appears to be 2 younger hobbits and an elderly woman rapidly taking orders and bustling out with trays filled to the brim with eggs and sausages, bacon. You see fried tomatoes, mushrooms, all manner of fall vegetables as well, covering these plates, squashes and zucchinis, all being brought out to the tables that are full. Overflowing. There's actually multiple people standing at the bar itself, enjoying their breakfast and a bit of a chinwag with the locals there at the bar.
Is there any space at the bar? Is there any space anywhere?
There is some space to stand, and as you do sidle up to the bar, the elderly-looking hobbit woman, more elderly-looking hobbit woman. Hi, and what can we get for you? We don't have many tables left, but I can give you something to go, or we can always just wait until someone leaves.
You know, everything looks great. Some bacon.
The full Shire breakfast. Yeah. We're known for it. We'll have it right out.
Grand.
Makes a quick jot on a notepad and just slaps it down on the end of the bar. One of the young hobbits comes by and grabs it on their way back with an armful of dirty dishes. It's a much different feel this morning. The fire is roaring. There is a cool wind whenever anybody opens the door. That brisk morning feel of waking up and having this rush of activity. It's sort of abrasive to you, but you can enjoy it knowing that there is a full Shire breakfast coming towards you.
So Barty is just going to look around, kind of shoulder to shoulder with a couple other hobbits, and he looks to the guy on the left. What brings you in here?
The Shire breakfast. It's well known everywhere, and Mickle Delving's the place to get it.
Sure is.
I love second breakfast here. I come every morning.
I'd have second breakfast 3 times if I could.
Well, we know you would, Barty. You silly goose.
Goose. What about you, young one?
I come to get a bit of a breakfast for my dad. He's already out in the field, and I've got to come and bring him some bacon.
Special
he really
day, huh?
likes the bacon.
Oh, yeah. Everybody loves bacon. Right, you go, chap.
Soon enough, your plate comes out. The elderly hobbit comes back with it. And here you go, love. Here's that meal for you. I hope you enjoy. That's going to be 2 silver.
Oh,
I was going to ask about that. How much money do we have?
yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about that, did we?
Because at this current point, Barty doesn't realize if he has any money right now.
Here you go. Puts nothing in their hands.
We'll say you have 5 gold altogether, and I think it's 10 silver to a gold. That would be not a bad price for a meal.
All right, so Barty will flip out a golden coin, slap it on the countertop, and he'll go, "Keep the change if you get me a morning pint."
Well, absolutely. We've got plenty of that. What kind would you like? Dark, a white, a pale?
Pale.
All right. And she grabs a wooden flagon and fills up to the brim, brings you this mug of pale ale for you to enjoy with your breakfast.
That's the stuff.
When you get the mug, your companion Barry will be walking out, closely followed by your accomplice Banjo.
So Barry will kind of scan the bustling interior of the bird and babe. He will notice Barty standing at the bar. That's right, standing room only. His new companions may notice that while Barry had seemed quite relaxed, quite at ease with himself last evening when there wasn't as much of a crowd, when there wasn't as much action going on. In this energetic and kind of high tempo atmosphere with so many people around, Barry does seem a little ill at ease with himself. He's not exactly, angsty or totally clamming up or anything, but he does kind of seem to act and move more cautiously. So he does approach the bar.
Oh, good morning, Barry.
Oi, how you doing, Barty?
Grand. Food.
Oh, you see that? I heard from Banjo, he said something about you seeing an owl last night.
Yep. There's an owl up there.
The elderly hobbit to your right, he says,
Well, you have a good day, sir, and good luck in your travels.
and he pops off and leaves.
Sure thing.
Another one of the servers comes by and almost knocks over Barry as he's coming with this big tray filled with food. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Pardon me. Rushes by, continuing on to serve some of the other tables, collecting more dishes on his way back.
Well, that's all right. No need to apologize.
Yes, there's an owl out there. These potatoes are fantastic. I woke up last night and there's an owl just sitting on our window. And he's throwing his shadow on the wall, and it was spooky. So I went and talked to him, and he wanted Banjo to follow him out into the field. But Banjo woke up and he was all grumpy and groggy and was like, Nah, owl, go away. And the owl flew away. I'm sad. I couldn't go to sleep after that, so I decided to come down and have some bacon early.
Is that so? Well, I haven't heard any kind of talking with owls before. I've heard that if any bird's capable of having a conversation, I heard ravens is mighty intelligent, but I've never heard of an owl that could speak.
Owls aren't raven. They're raven mad, maybe. This one is.
All I know is he didn't speak to me.
All right.
Start digging into some breakfast.
Did you sleep okay, Banjo?
I had this great dream. If I think about it long enough, I can remember it. I'm just gonna sit there.
So Barry will occupy the vacated spot next to Barty and flag down whichever server might be approaching the soonest.
So for sake of time, we'll say that you both are able to flag down and get the food that you need to sustain you through until 11sies, so far away.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing as how it's, well, let's determine what time it is in the day. We are going to be traveling today. We've shared a bit of a map. It's about a 2-day journey to Hobbiton. We need a little bit of a detail. We'll use this as kind of our journey phase here as we're gathering at the tavern on the route to set up to travel out. Are you planning to travel by the main road? Are you trying to take back ways? What's the plan for the group in the journey today?
We're in West Farthing, right?
Correct. You are in Mickle Delving proper. So the main road pretty much goes straight from Mickle Delving to Hobbiton. You were told by Bolger that you should avoid contact with bounders, which will be patrolling the main roads.
Right, so we don't want to take the main roads, but I sure don't want to end up through the Tucklands. My family will beat me to death if they find out I was this far away.
Well, I think we could do is take the main road, and, one of us could stand up and watch tag team every once in a while. Someone switches out and keeps an eye out for bounders, being that we don't want to come across any on the way.
Sounds like a good idea.
I think if we did encounter any kind of bounder activity, I'm comfortable enough with the area around here. I've been walking up and down these roads since before you two were born, I'm pretty sure. So if we might need to abandon the main road, I feel pretty comfortable we could get our way over to Hobbiton without too much trouble.
Concluding your chat over breakfast here at the Bird and Babe, you decide to take the main road through. As you set out, I'm going to have one of you go ahead and roll on the Shire Journey table. This is something that I have access to. You guys don't know what the result means. Any one of you can go ahead and roll a d20. We'll see what takes place for your day of travel here.
I almost rolled a d30. I don't know how you can do that, but I almost did. 19.
Banjo's just built different.
The luck of the Irish. Okay,
wow,
I'm so concerned as to what that owl was. I really hope we get some sort of conclusion on that.
You may.
I'm just gonna see it in a window. It's just gonna point at me and slide a finger across its throat slowly.
What does 19 mean, Mr. Loremaster?
In great time, you get your meal, you pack up, you tidy up the room even for Jarrett, who was so kind to you the previous night, and you set out on your journey. The food that you consumed really puts a spring in your step, and as you walk, you feel fueled by the idea that you are contributing to Hobbit society, and you can encourage one another in the fact that this is a great thing that you're doing. You're not sure about the intents of Bolger, but you know that this is going to turn out for good. And so you're spurred on, you're encouraged, and you find a shortcut along the way. So you can, whoever was going to be a lookout, you can kind of describe how that takes place.
Maybe keener, younger eyes.
Am I looking out? Because I rolled?
Well, it does make sense for the keener, younger eyes of the varmint hunter to be the lookout.
Since he can, apparently, shoot a varmint at 100 yards, which is boggling to me.
Sounds kind of like hyperbole.
That's a big word.
My wife used it one time. I'm not entirely certain what she meant by it.
How much off of our journey? Did you say already?
I didn't say exactly how much, but ends up that it's actually going to reduce the length of your journey by a day. So it's going to make a 2-day journey into a 1-day journey. And that's partially because you won't have to be looking out so carefully for bounders anymore. So you'll be able to speed up and really put your head down and just trek.
Oh, I think it was around here somewhere. The other day, I think it was my older brother showed me this path. Get you straight to where we need to go, and no eyes can see us. None of these bounders will come near. We won't even have to have a lookout.
I like the idea of no lookout.
Mighty fine job.
So you pass through a bit of the Tooklands in favor of that versus going along the main road. At first, you're a little uncertain because the ground seems a bit unsteady, but as you come over a hill, it just widens to this beautiful scene. You can see a pond off in the distance where there's some ducks quacking at each other, as ducks do. You see the fall colors changing all around you in the Shire. It's a beautiful and a lovely walk. You've never felt so inspired as you walk through the Shire, and you can enjoy the scenery as you make great time and arrive a day early to Hobbiton itself. The sun is just beginning to set as you approach from the south, and you know that the Green Dragon is pretty central here within Hobbiton, so you can make your way there or let me know what you want to do in order to find the information that you're seeking out.
Well, we're looking for mushrooms.
We either want to get it and purchase it and
first
bring it
things
back.
first, gentlemen.
So you know you're looking for Boffin's Crock, right? That's
right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. With potatoes. No, with mushrooms.
It's mushroom and thyme soup. Yep.
We start talking about soup and I get all soupy in the brain.
Yeah, I think the main objective is to receive Boffin's Crock in one way or another.
So here's what I'm thinking, boys. Why don't we hit the Green Tavern first, the Green, whatever it is, Green Dragon, and from there we can try it, you guys can try it, and tell me what it tastes like, and I'll see if I can find the mushrooms to match. I don't know. I don't eat soup.
Oh, I'm sure if anyone's going to know their taste about herbs and vegetables, it'll be you for sure.
Or you, I suppose.
Kind of sarcastically, very gently sarcastically.
What if we just bought enough, water it down as a bigger soup back in Mickle Delving?
The words of your assigner, Bolger, echo in your ear.
And if you try to pass off some second-rate soup, I've tasted Boffin's Crock more than anyone else in the Shire, and I'll know.
No, that wouldn't work.
Yep.
Barty notices this long distance, unstaring look on Banjo's face and wonders what that was about.
The listeners at home would know.
Just turns to the camera. You guys know what's up.
Yeah, Barry's pulling up his quest journal and reading through it again. Oh yeah, there was a stipulation in here. You can't just cobble something together.
So mushrooms it is. We got to try the soup. You got to try the soup. We got to find the mushrooms and the time to find the time and make the soup. Yeah?
Or we could take the real thing. Are we not able to just take the real thing?
Do you feel like carrying for the Yuletide feast, the amount of soup it would take to feed all of everybody there.
Well, what if we had just had the party up here?
Barty chokes on the apple he was eating.
Oh no.
In the middle of this conversation, I see something rustle in the bushes, and I just kind of hunker down and slowly walk towards it and like away from our conversation. So I am distracted at this point.
Barry, where's the green dragon from here?
Hey, it's right this way. I'm not sure if we should let Banjo go about his business or not, but I'm right hungry. I haven't had a proper meal since this morning. Been living off of provisions all day.
My pocket links are done. I've already ate all my pocket sausage.
Yeah, you probably had 2 servings worth of food left over, because Jarrett would have given you an ample amount for 4 different people there in your room. So you saved 2 of them, but you had whatever you had brought with you as well. So yeah, you might have your provisions stretched pretty tightly. I'm assuming that you were able to forage a little bit. This is the harvest season after all, so there would have been berries growing by the side of the road, and you would know what edible plants there were. So you've augmented what you carried with you to last through the day, but you are hungry by this point. Banjo, as you do slink off, you actually do see as you come to a rustling in the bushes, you see a small duck. This is looks like it's a little farther from the pond. There's not a gaggle around it or anything. It's kind of by itself, and it has a bit of a low wing, and so it's kind of like hobbling a bit, trying to flap. It notices you and tries to fly away, but it's a little slow.
Oh, there. No worries. I'll get you nice and settled there. I'm gonna just slowly try to make my way towards it to see if I can assess what's wrong with this bird, if its wing's broken, if it can, if I can do anything. Slowly make my advance towards this duck.
Banjo just makes weird bird activities.
You can make an animal handling check.
Bamp. Don't let me roll again.
So as you attempt to get close to this animal, it sees you, and it seems like it panics, starts fluttering its wings as fast as it can. It may or may not be in a great deal of pain, but at least temporarily it gains the power to fly up into the canopy and away from you. It kind of looks down upon you with a observational gaze, at least.
And when I look around, there's no other, indicators that it, injured itself, or if I just do a general, look around. There's nothing that would tell me more about what could have happened to the duck.
You don't see, the context is pretty difficult. You don't have a good trail to it because there is a pond fairly close by, which you assume it came from, but there's no immediate context as you look around. As you peer around and you're looking for some evidence of what might have happened to it, you look up to where it was and it's gone.
I'll take kind of one last look around, and I'll take a pretty much all-eaten biscuit, and I'll just kind of break it in half and throw it on the ground, and then walk back to the troop.
So Banjo rejoins the group, and you all have decided what?
We're going to the Green Dragon. You want to come with us, Banjo?
Yep.
What was that all about? Where were you off to?
I thought I heard a varmint. Nothing but a duck. Looked like he was injured or something. But he's got too scared. He pestered off. I left him a little bit of crumb, though, just in case he came back and got hungry.
An injured duck got away from the legendary Banjo Groman?
He had a slip on me.
Birds are acting weird around you, Banjo.
What can I say? And I'm just balancing on a log. What can I say? I am a varmint killer.
So you're able to make your way to the Green Dragon Inn, and it is fairly busy. Since there's so many people, you kind of, or at least hope, you fly under the radar as you approach the famous Green Dragon Inn in search of Boffin's Crock. So you enter, and there is a thick cloud of smoke and haze within the inn. There are many people puffing on their pipes, others who are engaged over a flagon of ale, and more than a few who have a bowl of food in front of them. It's a very moist sandwich with layers of meats and cheeses. And you do see more than one patron has a bowl of Boffin's Crock. You can see the mushrooms in there, herbs sprinkled on top generously. The smells of this mushroom soup are just the best umami that you have ever smelled. It's just a delicious combination of savory smells and the herbs that accompany it. Being a hobbit, there's few smells better than a good mushroom, and it is present in a big way.
Ooh, I've gotta have me a bowl of that. Scamper off to get me some.
He's always scampering, isn't he?
Aye, that lad. He's always scampering somewhere. He hasn't learned to take his time yet.
Banjo, you're able to locate the innkeeper here. Middle-aged looking hobbit running around tending to different tables. She doesn't seem to have her hands as full as the breakfast crowd over at the Mickle Delving Tavern. Her hands do indeed seem to be full with flagons of ale as she's going around the room, making sure everybody has a fresh batch, and she sees you and she cocks her head towards one of the tables. Park yourself right there, we'll have it right out for you. What would you like?
Oh, Boffin's Crock smells amazing, thanks.
Oh, I'm so sorry, my dear. We were all out for this evening. Would you like one of our sandwiches? It's very, very good.
I guess.
He's devastated.
All right, we'll have it right out. An ale as well, I'm sure. The Green Dragon's finest.
I suppose one ale would do me real good. We've had quite the journey today.
Wait,
very good.
Banjo, you're not supposed to have ale.
As Barry comes up behind her, she kind of slows in her track. Oh, you sneaky young one. You almost pulled one over on me. We'll get you a root beer as well. For you, sirs, anything I can get for you?
You know, a sandwich sounds lovely. You got some mushrooms to slap on there too?
Oh, we're all out of mushrooms, I'm afraid, but I'll bring you what we can. We've got that delicious beef gravy that everyone loves on the sandwich.
I was really hoping for mushrooms.
I know, I'm so sorry. I'll see if we have any dried in the larder. We might have a few.
I'll tell you what. Tell me where you guys get your mushrooms. I'll go find it for you.
Ah, now that's the rub, isn't it? You cheeky blighter, you. I'll be back with your ale and your sandwiches. Have a seat and enjoy. And so she runs off, comes back quickly with the ales, and returns to the kitchen in search of the food for your fare. Sitting very close to you, there's a table where two patrons are just finishing off their mushroom soup, and you can see that there's others close by who have already polished them off, and their bowls are empty sitting next to them.
We were here one day early, and still we were too late. Too late to get some of the stew. Banjo's just going to go on a rant about how they've been traveling for so long, specifically for this soup, and they can't even get it.
Do it. Go on a rant right now, Banjo. I want to hear it.
No. I just did. That was me going on a rant for about 10 minutes about soup.
There's two other hobbits who you see running around to the different tables, mostly clearing off dishes, but also bringing out food. A young hobbit comes and brings the 3 sandwiches, his arms very full. He is actually doing a pretty good job of balancing them. He almost drops one as he arrives. But you can tell this is quite a young hobbit to be working in a tavern. Well, here's those sandwiches. Dahlia told me that you had the three sandwiches here. Is that it was the one you had a sandwich here, and you had a sandwich here, and
I had the soup.
Oh, well, no, you had the soup. I'm so sorry.
No,
I'll be right back. Let me
you.
take. Here you go. There's the sandwiches. He blushes bright red, and he kind of backs away. He takes the one sandwich with him, and he returns back to the kitchen.
That was my sandwich.
It's alright, you can have some of mine.
I'm just gonna. I can't win. I give up.
He failed with the cordial. He failed with the child. You know what they say, Banjo? The road to destruction is lined with good intentions.
It really is. The road to Boffin's Crock.
As the young hobbit returns to the back, you hear this kind of a rumbly voice.
More soup? Nobody else ordered soup. I told you we're all out of soup. Why would you sell another soup?
You see this for a hobbit, a very jacked looking hobbit walks out with this full apron covered with blood.
What?
It looks like he was in the middle of butchering some more animals or making some cuts of meat, and he has a butcher's knife in his right hand. And he comes out to your table and he kind of points at the only person who doesn't have a plate in front of them.
You couldn't have ordered soup. We're all out of soup. I told him not to have any soup. Why would you say you eating soup?
Oh, my apologies. I'm so sorry for making a small joke that was obviously not at a good time. Didn't mean to offend anyone by saying I did something I didn't do. I'm apologizing to you right now for this. I do apologize for that. I didn't mean nothing by.
Listen, all our patrons know Boffin's Crock is a hot commodity. You've got to come early if you want the soup.
Oh, right, sir. I won't ever say I have soup again.
Toxic tendencies, I see.
All right.
You notice now as pressure is on the whole tavern kind of got completely silent. It's like this, nobody plays around with Boffin's Crock. This is some serious business. And you have definitely made a name for yourself here, not in a good way. This large butcher backs away towards the kitchen, pointing his butcher's knife at you and kind of squinting a little bit with every step. And he says,
I'm keeping my eye on you.
I'm pretty sure Banjo is absolutely terrified. I don't think anybody would not be absolutely terrified by that.
Barty waits for the butcher to back out and get out of earshot and make sure no one else is listening. And he leans over to Banjo and he goes, well, I was going to try to follow him and see where he got those mushrooms, but blast it all, I think you ruined my chances.
I just hope I don't die.
As the larger hobbit backs away and leaves to the kitchen, the young boy who you've heard others call him Young Fred, he comes back to your table. So, would you be liking the sandwich then, sir?
I think I've lost my appetite. Sorry again.
He gasps.
Why is he gasping me? Losing my appetite.
A hobbit who's lost his appetite? It's unheard of.
That can't be unheard of in no circumstances.
No hobbit has ever lost his appetite.
Then I definitely wouldn't have lost my appetite by someone being scared. Maybe in that case I would just be like nibbling on the stuff that's in my pockets. I don't know. Out of scaredness.
So gradually the din continues in the tavern here, and soon people are singing, drinking songs, dancing on the tables. Back to the normal here at the Green Dragon after the brief moment of peril has passed.
If there is a moment of respite, especially as the action is picking up again, Barry will kind of lean in to the other two. All right, lads. I've got an idea. I know this territory fairly well, especially where different herbs and plants grow. If I know anything, it's where mushrooms grow around here. I think I might be able to go in and try to make amends with the cook in there. Potentially offer my services as a bit of a plant gatherer type and offer to bring them in, not specifically the ingredients for the crock itself, you mind, but we might be able to deduce from the shopping list I might offer to gather for them which items might be used in Boffin's crock.
Mm-hmm.
What do you lads think about that?
It's a lot safer than my plan.
I think you might be careful there, lad.
As you're discussing these things, the tavern keeper comes by, who Fred referred to as Dahlia. Oh, I'm sorry about that old Rumbold. He really takes his food very seriously. I wouldn't mention the soup again to him. And if you do like Boffin's Crock, please do come early tomorrow. We do make quite a bit, and Rumbold works very hard on it, which is why he cares so much about it.
We understand perfectly, Miss Dahlia.
Didn't mean to cause trouble. Sorry.
Well, that's just Rumbold. He's all bark and no bite. You know the type. How did you like your sandwiches? They're very good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot better than soup, I'll tell you that much.
It was my idea to put the gravy. Rumble didn't think it needed anything to stand on its own 2 feet, but he's that way about everything.
You can tell Rumble to shove this sandwich. It was great, thank you.
You are looking for trouble, aren't you? Oh, I like the thought. You all have such a good energy to you. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for coming to the Green Dragon, and I hope you really enjoy it, and we'll see you tomorrow, I'm sure, since you want that Boffin's Crock so badly.
Yes, all 3 of us want it badly. All 3 of us.
I need that Crock, man.
Well, Miss Dahlia, I was wondering if you might need any kind of assistance finding ingredients for tomorrow's cooking. I happen to know my way around a plant or two, and I could get you some fresh ingredients to make all kinds of delicious articles and food and all that for tomorrow. Maybe you'd be willing to give us a slight discount on our meals tomorrow.
Oh, that's so sweet of you, Master, what was your name?
Oh, I probably haven't properly introduced myself. My name is Barlack Bramblefoot.
Barlack.
You might have heard of me. Not exactly the most famousest of hobbits, as you know, lives up in the hill. But, I've been known to collect a plant or two and maybe sell them or trade them for different items.
Well, Master Bearlack, that's quite a generous offer of yours, but actually my daughter is a herbalist herself, and she gets everything we need quite well from these parts, so I greatly appreciate it, but honestly, we've no need for your herbs. Oh, no, no, I don't need it.
Well, that's all right. Ruined my plan. No, that's all right. I completely understand.
We've got to kill her daughter.
Say what?
Okay.
So she doesn't have a herbalist.
Yeah.
The obvious direction the DM wants us to go.
No, I don't think so. Well, I appreciate that. I'm happy for you, and I wish your daughter well in her search for herbs. Would you mind bringing us a round of your amber ales?
Oh, absolutely, of course. And, there's not many who are able to get the secret to it, but those who do, they sure appreciate it. And, well, I've said too much already. I'll be back with your ales. And she turns around to go.
Once again, waiting for her to leave, Banjo leans over to Barry this time.
Did she say some people other than the workers here have the secret to the sauce? Soup?
That's what I believe. I understood from that.
Barty contemplatively taps his finger on his lip.
That is the question, isn't it? Who might know?
I bet we could get little Fred to tell us. No?
Oh, you're squeezing a young lad like that. I don't think that's the most...
Talk, Freddy! Well, come on, if anybody was to get information about us, they just gotta talk to Banjo.
I doubt they know any... I doubt they let that young tyke in on anything, being as young as he is.
Mayhaps.
As you're talking about these things, not necessarily whispering, you were leaning in closer. The table next to you, you kind of notice a couple people peek over towards you and you see their shoulders kind of heaving up and down, almost in laughter, as you continue talking about, who knows this secret and what's this great big secret. They almost start guffawing. They begin to laugh, and you notice very pointedly they're indicating over at your direction, and they don't know. Oh, they don't know. And rubbing their eyes, just laughing. They have their flagons in their hands, and they're just uproariously laughing. They don't know. They just don't know.
So Barty puts on the angriest face. He thinks the angriest face he can manage. It's not, hobbits can't make angry faces, but he puts on a snarl.
What are you guys laughing at?
One of them gets the mirthful tears out from under his eyes and takes a sip of his ale. Oh, you're looking for the secret of Boffin's Crock?
Yeah.
He starts laughing again. Boffin's Crock. The secret is Boffin. Everybody knows. Everyone knows. He wipes the tears again from his face. Gerda Boffin supplies the mushrooms for the crock. Everyone knows that. It's named after her.
If it's a secret, why does everybody know it?
We all pretend not to know so that fools like you come in and get yelled at by Rumble.
Barty stands up aggressively and his chair falls down behind him and just storms out.
There's literally 2 people in the Shire who think that it's a secret, and those are Rumbold and young Fred. Those are the only people in the entire Shire who don't know that Boffin's Crock is supplied by Gerda Boffin.
And those are the 2 people we asked. Those are the 2 people we asked, of course. I'm going to probably just not say much to many people in this scenario and probably would follow Barty outside. He needs a little company. He's ticked off at these guys for being mad, you know.
As you come to the realization, you see a few hands exchange either ales or coins. It seems there were bets on how you would get the information that you were looking for. You see one gentleman with a feather in his cap put it back on his head and exit the Green Dragon.
So we gotta kill him.
It's another sheriff.
Shank a sheriff.
With that revelation and the information now that Gerda Boffin is the one who supplies the mushrooms for Boffin's Crock, we will call an end to this session here and your second day here in the Shire. Not quite as cozy as the first time, but certainly looking forward to the next day when you shall seek and hopefully find the answer to Boffin's Crock. Blunders and Flagons is a creation of David Lennox in partnership with Daniel and Drew Lennox and Jerry Hoppmann. Content for this adventure is compiled from Tolkien's Lord of the Rings universe. The system and certain names and details of this adventure were adapted from the Free League's work, the Lord of the Rings Roleplaying and Shire Adventures starter set for 5e. Sounds in this episode were sourced in part from freesound.org under the Creative Commons and Attribution license. Atmosphere and other sounds were derived from Monument Studios, Fantasy Music, and Cinematic Atmosphere collections under the Creative Commons license. Other music was created using Suno Premium. Detailed attribution found in the description. Thank you for listening to this episode, and remember, even the smallest person can change the course of the future.